Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world, or whatever time you'll be watching this video. Now, guys, I've been thinking about something for a while, and was I wasn't gonna really say anything about it because I'm like, okay, a lot of people have their social media platforms and they choose what they wanna watch on social media, whether it's derogative content or whether it's positive content. But something has really been bugging me, and I'm just gonna say my 2 cents, right? Okay. So we see all of these people on social media and they come out with their life stories, and we decide to watch or not watch, as the case may be, right? And sometimes we don't necessarily agree with the content that they put out. Sometimes we agree, whatever. Some of it is all entertainment. And my thing is, excuse me, if we see certain characters living certain lives and we don't agree with it, and we say that we are going to make our comments about what we see, why is it that we have to be so negative, so degrading, and basically bullying and using such horrible languages towards these people? And in no way, shape, or form um, is any gender exempt from this. But what I notice, especially from some of these males who do commentaries, because I don't know. I guess once you make content on social media, you're a content creator. But for me, they're just commenters. They're commenting on other people's lives because you don't see them do any other content other than discussing other people's lives that they see. But why does your views have to be so abusive, bullying? Because how I look at it, that these men or male presenting humans, in my opinion, these persons are abusive in real life, or whether they fall under two cases. They're either very abusive in real life, or in real life they're under abuse at home, or they have no voice at home. Case in point, when we're looking at this Alicia and Boo or Maki situation, right? Maki, I guess, fell in love with Alicia, decided to get married to her, brought her to the United States. For whatever reason, the relationship didn't work out, or based on his most recent video, because ever since he came back out, he's been calling her all these derogatory names, um, not fitting for a gentleman. Because, in my opinion, if you think that this person was so horrible and you have moved on, you filed for divorce twice, right? The first one, you all decided to patch, mend fences. The second divorce, it went through because she decided that, okay, second time, okay, I'm going to grant you your divorce. But if you requested divorce and you were granted the divorce, you went through all of whatever it is that you're supposed to go through. The divorce is final. You went your way, she went her ways. And if she's such a bad person, then you wouldn't want anything to do with her again. You would be happy that she's out of your space, no? So I don't understand, why is it now that after over a year, I guess almost 2 years of you going your separate ways, divorcing, that you're coming back out now, and it's almost as if you're having um divorce regrets, right? Because it seems as if he's still in love with her. Obviously, he's still in love with her, and he's upset that the relationship ended. And I think he was lording over her immigration status, trying to have some sort of a hold on her, trying to keep her under his thumb, that, to keep her in place to say, okay, yeah, I have your future in my hands, so you have to abide by everything I do. You have to listen to everything I say. Um, and then, because she has a mind of her own, she's like, no, you can't have me under bondage. You can't have me under that kind of slavery. And he's upset. She went, but now he's having remorse, because obviously you can tell he's still in love with her, right? So he's coming out every so often with these, if I lack of a better word, mama man behavior. Because if you're with a woman, whether you were married, yes or no, and you're doing things for her, there's no way you can now come out years later and, putting out stuff that you did for her while you were dating, while you were married. Something I saw the other day where he came out and he's talking about a peeler, a vegetable peeler. You can get those things in the dollar store, right? In Canada, everything price has gone up for stuff now. So that would be like under $5. Now you're telling me that you're coming out on social media and stating that while you were dating this person asked you for a vegetable peeler, a dollar store vegetable peeler, and you're going to come out and say you did this for her. You spend money You say you spend money on her going to, get her nails and whatever done. Well, she says no, she did that before you guys were together. Whatever it is, whether you did it or not. But that is something that you would do for someone that you are in a relationship with. You seem very petty and small, coming out and saying that you did these things for someone you were dating and eventually got married to. That is so tiny of you as a male. Honestly, honestly, that is not something to come out and say you did for someone. That is peanuts, right? And you keep, coming out and degrading, belittling her. To me, that shows that there, and this is my opinion, guys, that just shows that was some sort of abuse in that relationship. And abuse doesn't have to be physical. Abuse is also mental, emotional, and psychological. Those kind of abuse still do damage to people, right? Most times it's geared towards the woman. And in this case, like in Alicia's case, you can tell that she was based on Mackie's actions now. You can tell that he has this air about him that make him somewhat feel kind of superior to her, because he had the upper hand, whereas he was a citizen, and he was a dominant person. She just came to America and all of that. But then now that the relationship is over and he's coming out and you know calling her all these names and stuff, you can have differences in your relationships or lack of relationship there, but to be coming out with these kind of languages, that's bullying to me tactic and abusive tactic. And now, because you have some um social media, YouTube, whatever you wanna term them as, this they hold their platform holders, right? And they say that they're on Mackie's side. Initially, they were on Alicia's side, but then they have switched over to Mackie's side. Now, I think if you decide to go on Mackie's side, that's fine. That's your concern. Because at the end of the day, none of us were in the relationship with Mackie and Alicia. Both sides will stretch the truth. Both sides will be honest in certain things. And unless you were flies in the wall or you were in their relationship, you take whatever they say at face value, or sometimes, you can surmise what you think is the truth. But my thing is, if you're on Mackie's side and you don't like Alicia, no, you can give your honest opinion and your um, disappointment, rather, in what you think that she treated him shabbily and that you think that she used him for a green card. But my God, the language and the attitude towards this young lady that none of you knows, in my opinion, you gentlemen are very abusive. You're bullies and you are abusive gentlemen. And I don't understand how you have women sitting and applauding this kind of behavior of men abusing and bullying women on social media. And you're all sitting there and going along with it. And you think nothing of it. How does that look? How would you feel if the female on the other end was your sister, your mother, your aunt, your daughter? How would you feel if your daughter was in a relationship? The gentleman decides that he no longer wants to be in the relationship, whether the woman was wrong or right. Right? But the gentleman says he no longer wants to be in the relationship and he decides to move on and the woman accepts it and goes about her business. How would you feel if some outsider is going to come in and be bullying and verbal abusing your family member, or even you for that matter? Remember, you don't know these people. And then they're going to come down and be so abusive to you. It's not right. We need to look at ourselves as humans and saying, this isn't right. At the end of the day, we're all going to sit down, and when a man is physically abusive to a woman, we are going to say, okay, send him to the gallows. No man should be doing this to a woman. No man should be doing that to a woman. Why didn't the man just walk away? And, all of these, basically sending the man to prison or putting him on the chopping block, right? If he was physically abusive, that is when you people are going to be reactive. But you're not being proactive in saying, no, this man should not be abusing this woman like this. And I'm sitting down and cheering on the abuse. That is so hypocritical. Abuse is abuse. Physical, mental, emotional, psychological abuse is abuse. They can give their opinions. You can have some tough love in your conversations, in your critique. But ladies, we need to look out for our sister. You may not like the fact that you may think that, Alicia used Boo to get to the US. I'm not saying I don't know because I'm not in their relationship. But regardless of the fact, if that is what she did, You can give some tough love, but not in this use it this abusive way that I see some of these gentlemen acting on social media. It hurts the heart to see this because I see women, and it's just that I just watched a video on Facebook. I just saw a video of it. It was in another small island, and the gentleman and the woman, I guess they're having their disagreement, and he's sending her home. So he packed up her bag and is walking her out of the house, and he keeps saying to her, go home, go home, I don't want you to be here, go home, go home. And I don't know if she has nowhere else to go, or sometimes when women are on in these abusive relationships, they have this mindset that they should still stay in the relationship or still stay with the person who is abusing them. So she's taking her time in walking out, and he's, basically dragging her out. And like she's not walking fast enough, and she also took up his phone, and he's saying, give me my phone, give me my phone. I want my phone. And the man is just punching her, giving her some box. Man, and oh God, I felt like crying. I felt like crying. And you have one person videotaping it. And then when the first hit connected with her, another man came out of his house, and like he's, pleading for the other guy to stop hitting the woman. And I'm like, I know sometimes when, I'm saying, why doesn't he go in and take the woman from the man? But I kind of understand a lot of times people don't want to get into those kind of when there are altercations, because it's the person who tries to go in and separate them. They're the ones who get hurt. But I'm like, this is how it is. You see someone being abused, and you're sitting on the sidelines and not doing anything about it. Now, when we look at, like in Alicia's case, most of all of this hate came on when she announced that she was pregnant, from what I noticed. She came out when the relationship ended and said, we're no longer together, XYZ. She didn't bring us through the entire journey of her divorce, but then once she came out and said that she was pregnant, all of this hate, spiraled onto her. And I'm saying, okay, fine. If you have your ideas on that she used Boo for green card and whatnot, isn't there somewhere in your psyche that would say, okay, this woman is pregnant? When a woman is pregnant, it's not a disability, but you are more fragile in a sense, right? Your hormones are all over the place. Anything can happen. I see people body shaming, people saying all sorts of derogatory things. And I'm thinking, especially women who have gone through pregnancies. When you're pregnant, you would want to be handled, with kids' gloves. You would want to be handled like you're an egg. You don't want to be broken. You want someone to take care of you, be there to show you love. But the negative rhetoric that I saw, like when she was pregnant, I can't believe that women who gave birth would be so cruel to another woman. And then after she gave birth, the vitriol that we see spewing about this woman, I'm like, do these people know about postpartum? Do these people understand what a woman's body go through when she just had a baby? And now I'm hearing some women who are, you know, making derogatory comments about Alicia's weight. Since she's given birth about September last year, about 4 months ago, via C-section. So, you had your baby via C-section. And for quite a while, I mean, you basically still can't do anything. Some women take a longer time to get over their C-section because you have a cut. So you have limited mobility than if you have a vaginal birth, right? I remember when I had my son, and my son wasn't a very big boy, but for 2 weeks, I could barely walk, right? Whenever people were coming over to visit me, I would tell them to give me some time. And when they call me and say that they're coming over, I take my time, get up, go open my door, and then go and sit down. Because when they came, if they were to ring the doorbell at that time, it would take me at least 5 minutes to get to the door, to open the door for them. So I had to pre-open the door. Good thing that I, lived in a very safe neighborhood. I could open the door beforehand so that they would just push the door and come in. Right? And my son wasn't, I gave birth naturally, yes, but I I had stitches, and I went through so much, the hormones, everything that you go through. As much as you have your partner there or you have your loved ones there, you alone understand what your body is going through, your mental state. And to have people badgering, hammering you while you're in a vulnerable state. And for what? Clickbait, likes, and shares? Because as much as they say that they're pro Mackie, none of them know Mackie. They just put scenarios in their minds to say, oh, I think Mackie was the good one in this and Mackie didn't do anything wrong. Guys, come on. We need to stop this level of hate on social media, especially towards people who we don't know. You are assuming things that isn't so, and then spinning stories together, all for likes, views. I don't know, guys. I mean, I just decided to just do this little talk today because honestly, it just hurts. As a woman, it hurts. It hurts to see other people and other men. Men are supposed to be protectors of women. And I see these men degrading, abusing women on social media. You can say you don't like something, but when you see these men calling these women dogs, Jezebel, drunkro, Jesus Christ. And you want people to look at you and think that you're a gentleman? You honestly want people to look at you and think that you're a gentleman when this is how you're treating a woman or women who you do not know. I see other platform holders, other female platform holders, come out in defense of other, or say in this case then, Alicia. So the other female platformers are saying, you don't have to agree with her. You don't have to like her. But the language in which you're using to describe and to berate this young woman, this is bullying. This is abuse. This is verbal abuse. This is psychological abuse. This is emotional abuse. We need to break the cycle. We need to break the cycle of men abusing women and think it's fun and spin your own narrative that, oh, women are talking BS because you're just giving your opinion and it is all for show, and you're just making content and you're just commenting on what you see. Nothing is wrong in commenting on what you see. Nothing is wrong in giving your opinion. We are free. We have free speech. Life is free. But be kind with it. You can talk about Alicia if you don't like something that she does. You can talk about her. Not no one is saying that you can't talk about her. No one is saying you can't give constructive criticism. No one is saying, if you don't like something that she does, that you're not free to talk about it. But it's how you talk about it. And this is not only for Alicia. I'm just using her as an example. Women, we need to champion for our sisters and our brothers. But in this instance, I'm seeing more so that the level of hatred that these men have these days is for women. When did it get to the point where so many men hate women so much? This is not cool. And you have women sitting on the sidelines and cheering on the abuse of other women, and you think it's fun. And then when the tables turn to you, then you start crying foul. No, cry foul from now. You see something that's wrong, you speak up for it because it's wrong. Abuse is abuse, no matter how you look at it. We need to do better. And when you cheer on these kind of behaviors, is that what you're going to tell your child, that it's okay for someone, if they disagree with something that they do, that is okay for someone on the outside to come and treat your child like that, whether male or female? When someone outside treats your child, male or female, like that, that is when you're going to come out and have an issue with it. No, have the issue with it from now. Have the issue with it from now. And stop the abuse. Stop cheering on these men who are emotionally, verbally, psychologically abusing women on social media. We need to break the cycle. Break it. Stop it. Stop it.